So when we compare and order fractions, we got to think about two different kinds here. We have like fractions. Those are fractions that have the same denominator. Another word you might see for that is common. Common denominator. Have you ever heard the words common denominator before?
Yes.
Okay. So that just means the numbers are the same on the bottom. Okay. For example, 1/8 and 3/8 are like fractions because this 8 is the same number on the bottom. The number on top doesn't matter. We're just looking at the number on the bottom. Okay? So obviously then, unlike fractions are fractions that have different denominators. For example, 2/5 and 7/12. The numbers on the bottom of 5 and a 12 are not the same. So those are two things we're going to be using today. Well, we're going to talk about like fractions and unlike fractions. So, comparing fractions. We're going to use some special symbols. You've probably seen them before.
Yes, I love those.
This symbol is the greater than symbol. This symbol is the less than symbol. And this symbol is the equals to symbol. Those are the three symbols we're going to be using.
I can't wait. I love these.
I always learned it when I was in elementary school. The one, it's like an alligator, yeah. So it eats the bigger one, right? It's always hungry. It wants to eat the bigger one.
I like doing this. Oh, that one is small. That one is the loser. That one is the winner.
Okay.
Wow.
So whatever side it's open to is the bigger side. It points at the smaller one. So the first example here is a pretty easy one because we have like fractions. We have denominators that are the same. So now we just need to compare the top numbers. So is 1 bigger or smaller than 5?
5 is done.
1 is smaller than 5, so we're going to use the less than symbol.
Less than
1/8, and we can do this because we have the same number here. We have a common denominator. So then we can just look at the top number. So that's kind of an easy way. If you have the same denominator, just put them in order based on the top number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that number is, put them in order. If we have not common denominators, we need to make common denominators. So, you might know this off the top of your head, but we're going to still look at this. So 1/2 and 7/10. You have to make that 2. How can I make it a 10? I have to multiply by 5 times 5. And 1 times 5.
5/10.
That equals 5/10. So now we are comparing 7/10 and 5/10. Which one is bigger?
7/10.
7/10. So there we go. So on this one, you would put your symbol that way. This next one you probably know. 2/3 and 1/2. Right? What's bigger, 2/3 or 1/2? 2/3. So because the whole number is the same, always look at the whole number first. It's 1 and 1. So then we go to the fraction. So now 2/3 is bigger. So we know that this would be like that again. But if you weren't sure, you would make common denominators. And what's a common denominator between 2 and 3? Grady? 6. So we would make this 1, and then we would do times 2, and times 2 would be 4/6. And this one we'd go times 3 and times 3. We'd have 1 and 3/6. So now we know that, yes, we were right. 1 and 4/6 is more than 1 and 3/6. So that's comparing, okay? Now, how did I know to multiply by 2 and 3? If you take the denominator of the opposite number and multiply the whole fraction on the other side by both numbers by that, I just took 3 times 1 and 3 times 2, and I took 2 from the bottom of the second fraction times 2 and 3 times 2. You'll always get common denominators that way. So on the back side, now ordering fractions. So putting from least to greatest. First, create common denominators. And this is where it's helpful because now when you're looking at 3 numbers, it's sometimes hard to keep track what's what. Like, obviously I know 3/4 is bigger than 1/4.
Yeah.
But what about 3/7? Where does that fit? Maybe it fits in the middle. Okay, so let's make a common denominator. What would be a common denominator between 4s and 7s? Grady? 28.
No.
So, 28 would work.
Yeah, that's.
So we do taking this number here, this 4, and say that's times 4 times 4. This one we go times 7. And this one we do times 7. So we end up with 12 over 28. 21 over 28. And 7 over 28. Are they much easier to put in order now?
Yes.
Okay. So my biggest one is 21 over 28, so that's my 3/4. My middle one is the 3/7, so that's 12 over 28. And my smallest one would be my 1/4. So there they are in order.
What? So it still ends up.
Well, and you wanted at least the greatest, right?
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
You surprised?
Okay, so let's look at this next one. 1/6, 2/5, and 1/4.
Ooh.
This one you might know, maybe you don't. So what would be a common denominator between 6, 4, and 5?
2.
2. No, we can't make 5 into 2. Common denominator, not common factor, common denominator. Now we're going to do multiples. So what does 6 fit into, 5 fit into, and 4 fit into? 30. They all fit into 30? 5 fits into 30, 6 fits into 30. What about 4?
No.
4 doesn't.
What about 28? 40. No.
40? No. 60?
7. No. Yeah, 60.
60.
What about 5? Yeah.
60. All right.
7 times 5. Yeah.
So to make a 6 a 50 or 60, we've got to go times 10. So we have 10 over 60.
Then you have to times it by 11.
This one times 12. So we have 24 over 60. And 4 times what's going to be 60?
15. Let me see. Over 60.
Okay, and that one you might need a calculator for, right? To try. Is it 15?
6, yeah.
Okay.
If you do it by 10, it's 40, and then you gotta add the 5, which is 20. So, then
So now they're much easier to compare.
no way.
So 10 over 60 is my smallest, which represents what? My
6.
1/6. So I should write it that way.
And then 1/4.
I should make it 1/6. My next one would be my 1/4, and my biggest is my 2/5. Okay, so make them common denominators if you're unsure. If you think you know, then you don't have to make common denominators. Some of them are going to be easy enough where you don't need to.